Okay, we're live. I just thought I'd throw something out. I got a brew on. We'll see if we get anybody to come in and watch. Just brewing up a pale ale, sorry, golden ale. Not a bad day. It's hovering around 0. I don't know, is that somebody watching? What do I tell them? Well, if you're watching, let me know. Set something in the comments. We've got comments enabled. Let's do that. See what that says. Yeah, well, we'll see how long I keep this going. Right now, I'm just in the mash. Got a few minutes left in the mash. Then I'm gonna ramp up. Yeah, I'm gonna do a mash out for 10 minutes. I might get the heater going. What am I drinking? Oh man, that's definitely an unfiltered. There are lots of chunkies floating in there. It is a full-time IPA from Bose. I've never had this before. It's got kind of a funky 70s disco font there. But man, that is chunky. You got to remember that for next time, not to pour everything in. I mean, I'll drink it, but I prefer not drinking all the chunks. Store cold, drink fresh. Bose Brewing Company, Van Cleek Hill, Ontario, Canada. 6.7%. It really doesn't say much else. We're right up, nothing. But it is good. All right, I'm gonna get my heater going. Thrash metal. Hey, how you doing? I'm brewing up a well, it's my own version of a golden ale. Oh shit! I just spilled my yeast nutrient. So yeah, it's 4 kilos of pale malt, 2-row. Then I had a little bit of Vienna left, about 900 grams of that, and then about 650 grams of Golden Promise, 100 grams of Carafoam, and 100 grams of Carahell. Carafoam and the Carahell for head retention and body, and to make it look pretty when the lacing and all that. So I'm just doing a mash out right now. Almost up to my temp. Back, close enough. Right now I'm just trying to get my heater turned on. It's a little chilly. Don't know if you can tell. Almost. Haha, success. There we go. Now we have supplemental heating. I am in southern Ontario. No, it's just I got a long hose. I got a 20-pound propane tank hooked up to my heater. It's a little buddy or portable Mr. Heater portable buddy, and then I got a 10-foot hose to it. So it takes a while for the gas to go through the hose. My recirc was getting a little hot. So you're in Denver, Colorado. Yeah. Yes. Here. So right now I'm using a Herms. So I've got I take my my chiller, my coil, and I recirculate the mash through it. So the coil is in the kettle, the boil kettle right now, and there is my mash tun. So I'm recirculating the mash right now, and my hot liquor tank is empty right now. So once my mash tun, boil kettle, once all that is done, I'm going to swap it around. It is. Didn't cost a lot. It's a few $100 sunk into that system. It's a kind of a pain in the ass because it doesn't sit out here, so I have to pull it all out. I got to set it up, and then I got to take it down and store it in the basement when I'm done. But it's a very good system. It's an efficient system. I'm usually hitting my numbers and actually better. I get expected. I would like to get another pump, have 2 pumps going and go electric, or find a way to be able to control the propane with some kind of thermostat. And I'd like to be able to brew indoors because it gets a little chilly. How late did you stay on last night with Craig? Oh yeah. The temp, that's the biggest pain in the ass with the propane. Propane's nice and cheap and efficient. Heats up well. It's not as efficient as electric. Electric's 100%, but there's no heat loss. But propane's cheap. Oh yeah, I suppose I could go electric. I've actually seen it. I mean, people go electric. They use plastic pails, and they just have their elements in the pails. Is Colorado a legal pot state, or is it just medical there? Well, I never thought about the leaching with the plastics, but it seems to be more popular over in the UK. I'll teach their own. I had a little edible before this, so it's not very strong. It's just a little kind of even keel buzz. Hang on, I gotta check. I'm getting a little hot in my mash there. It's hitting 78 degrees C, which is which is 172 Fahrenheit. I want it to go at about 75 C for my mash out. I've only got about 2.5 minutes left. This is only 5 gallon. I want to go up to 15, or maybe I'll go up to 10, but I'd rather go to 15 because it's the same amount of work. And you get 3 times the amount of beer. So you don't have to bruise off. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, I know what the bad trips can be like. So yeah, my boil kettle is it's 7.5 gallons to the rim. So I usually go about 7.25. And when I get to the boil, I'm standing there. Did I bring it out? I thought I did. Yeah, there it is. So I'm standing there with my spray bottle, and I'm skimming, and I'm constantly, and then I'm on the temperature, the throttle for the the propane because I've got to really watch that boil over because when I get that big rolling boil and the conversion, it can be big and messy. So lots of water to knock the head down. And my pH has been a little off. I've been having to add more acid than I'm normally comfortable with. Like I don't mind adding 4 or 5 mils, but this batch I had to add 10 mils of lactic acid, which is a shit ton. I had to do that last time as well, but it didn't seem to affect the flavor. But it brought my pH right down. It was like 5.18 or something, so it was perfect. All right, that's my mash done. I'm just gonna focus on this for a little bit. And actually, I should check to see if it's done first. Do you ever check your starch conversion? Ooh, shit. Well, way too much iodine just went into that, but it's all good. Nothing black. I've been trying to find phosphoric acid. It's not easy to find around here. Everyone else has just got, it's all just lactic, even my home brew that I go to. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Well, I guess I could order it online. I never even thought about that. 2 to 3 tablespoons. So yeah, that's 1 tablespoon's 15 mils, so you're looking 45 mils. So yeah. So and I was putting in 100 mils. No, 10 mils. Yeah, 10 mils. Pretty good. Yeah. 1 syringe of 66% lactic. I put water in as well. I got gypsum in there. I got calcium chloride, and I also have. I think one of the reasons why my pH has been a little on the high side is because I've thrown in some baking powder, which is going to increase the alkalinity. But then again, that's, I guess you want the general alkalinity, but you don't want the pH. I don't know. I'll leave all that the chemistry up to John Palmer. But I do the water additions because I start off with RO water, because the water here in my area is really hard, so I run it through a softener, and I don't want to brew beer with softened water, yeah, just because I'm afraid it's going to be too salty. Actually, yeah, ever since I started doing the water chemistry, it's the beer has just been fantastic. I mean, by switching over to the RO water instead of doing tap water, throwing in a Camden tablet, waiting for the chlorine to go and everything. And all right, I gotta switch this over and start getting my sparge on the go. This is where it can get a little dicey. I'm flushing out my Herms coil, so I want to get all that wort that's in the coil. So my mash tun is very close to being maxed out, so I got to be careful. Otherwise, I can overfill it. Once you're getting close, but it's running clear. I just got to bring my sparge water up a couple more degrees, then I'll pump it up into the HLT, and then get the sparge going. And yeah, the wort does come nice and clear. I found it when you, oh, there's my temperatures. Only takes a few seconds to pump it over. Oh yeah, I had to get the wife told me to get the pump. I blew my shoulder out lifting my HLT up into place. I tore my rotator cuff completely severed it. And I'm still getting the strength back. I had the surgery a year and a half ago to get it fixed. But yeah, the pump. Okay, I overshot 2 degrees. It's 78, so I'll just gonna leave it cool for a few minutes. Leave the lid off. Don't want to get too many tannins. Yeah, these pumps, they're not cheap. That's why I never got one before. I mean, it's with taxes, it was close to $200. I think it was $170, $180 for the pump or something like that. So US, I don't know what that'd be, 130, 140. Yeah, no, I never get too anal on the temps. I mean, with because of the gas and you don't have the perfect temperature control, my mash temperature fluctuates. Can be as much as 4 degrees C, which is a lot. I mean, I try to keep the fluctuation down around 2 degrees, but you know what? In the end, it all ferments out and it all gets drunk, and the real flavor is in the hops, because you add a shit ton of hops and it makes it really good. So, but yeah, I've also got some of my homegrown hops. This is my East Kent Goldings. I'm just going to use this as a flavoring. So 18 grams, which is a little more than half an ounce. All right, give me a second. That's about all she can take. She's pretty full. Oh, my hops, yeah, it doesn't take much. They grow up. So all you need is like a little plot, 2 feet, 3 feet wide. And if you're only putting one plant in, you need about that much space, circular, and then find a way to get it 20 feet up in the air. I use fence rails, top rail. I put two 10-foot top rail pieces together and just it goes straight up in the air. And then I run 1/4-inch cord between the two, and I've only got I got 2 of those 10-foot rails. They're 10 feet apart or so, 10, 12 feet apart. So I can grow 4 plants, and each plant has 3 feet of space. I have another video if you want to check some of my previous videos on growing the hops. I'm gonna get this sparge on the go. Yeah, for the top of my sparge there, all I do is I have pie plates, And I poke holes in them so the water get a nice even sparge. This is my old one. It's all oxidized. But it usually takes me about 60 minutes to sparge. Yeah, cheers, man. Thanks for hanging with me. I was probably going to end my stream because I got to get some yeast going, and I don't want to sit out here, for the next 30 minutes. Rock on, dude. Okay, well, I am into my sparge. This usually takes about an hour. I'm going to take advantage of this time to go in, warm up, and get my yeast on the go and everything else. My hops, not my hops. Yeah, my hops weighed out. All right, I'll probably go live again later.